Hi, I'm Professor Inthavong, but you can call me Jessica. Today I'm going to help teach you how to write a paragraph. If you've never written a paragraph before, or you haven't written one for a long time, then this is a great video for you to watch. I'm going to teach you about the structure and give you some tips of what you should do when you write a paragraph. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so let me teach you how to write a paragraph. And I want to apologize, but my voice is not its normal sound. I think I'm getting a cold, so please bear with me. Okay, let's talk about a paragraph. So it will be a minimum of 4 sentences, and that's the very least it will be. Many times your paragraph will be much longer than that, like 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 sentences long. It depends on how many sentences you need to express yourself, prove your reasons, and so on. So you want to focus on only one topic, not 2 or 3. Use transition words, also known as linking words, and I'll give you some examples of those later. Lastly, in your paragraph, you want to have a topic sentence, which you'll see throughout this presentation. I will abbreviate as TS, supporting sentences, SS, and a concluding sentence, CS. Let's talk about the paragraph hamburger. So a lot of teachers, when they teach about paragraph writing, they might mention this. So if you see the hamburger, the top bun is what we consider your topic sentence. This lets the reader know what your whole paragraph will be about. Inside, you have the meat, lettuce, tomato, etc. These are your supporting sentences. And then the very bottom of the hamburger is the bottom bun. And this is your concluding sentence, which ends your paragraph. There are many different types of paragraphs, such as opinion, persuasive, or argumentative. That's all the same thing, they just have different names for it. This will be the one we'll mostly be focusing on today. Narrative, descriptive, classification, compare and contrast, process, and cause and effect. I'm sorry, but I don't have time to show you examples of all of those, but whichever one your teacher wants you to write, he or she will tell you, and then they'll also probably show you the format and then give you some examples. Let's look at some example topics. So these are topics that you might write about, such as gun control, smoking at universities, wearing uniforms in high school, types of students, test anxiety, the United States compared with Japan, the best place to live, or the benefits of reading books. So these are just example topics. Let's talk about topic sentences. So a topic sentence is normally the first or second sentence of the paragraph. It includes the topic and guides the whole paragraph. Based on your topic sentence, the reader should know what your whole paragraph will be about. So just by reading this sentence, your reader will say, okay, I know what to expect. I know what the writer is going to focus on. Let me give you some example topic sentences. Cooking dinner can be exhausting for several reasons. Although it is debatable, the best time for a woman to get married is when she is at least 30 years old. California, which is known as the Golden State, boasts many exciting activities for tourists. And the last one, I have lived all over the world, but no country compares to the United States. Therefore, it is the best place to reside. So this last one I want to show you, it's 2 sentences. And if you see, therefore it is the best place to reside, that's actually the topic sentence. So the writer is going to prove that the United States is the best place to reside. Remember, your topic sentence can be the first sentence or the second sentence. If it is the second sentence, then your first sentence might be a question or a sentence that contains some background on the topic. Let's look back at these topic sentences and find the topic. So if you look at the first one, cooking dinner can be exhausting for several reasons. Exhausting means like tiring, very tiring, makes you feel tired. What do you think is the topic here? You should have said cooking dinner. What about the next one? What's the topic? You should have said the best time for a woman to get married. So this would be an example of an opinion paragraph. So you might think the best time for a woman to get married is 30 years old. Another person might say 23. Another one might say 35. So it's your opinion. It's whatever you believe. What do you think is the topic of the third sentence? California. So this one's very broad. If you were told to write about California, you could write anything about California. This person is going to focus on specific activities that tourists can do in California, certain exciting activities. And then the last one, we know it's about the best place to reside, and they're going to prove why the US is the best place to reside. Again, you might not agree with this, but this is someone's opinion. And if you write an opinion paragraph, it's your job to convince the reader to agree with you. Let's look at some common topic sentence mistakes. So these are some mistakes that my students make that you might also make. If you see the first topic sentence, rice is the best food in the world and is plentiful. Do you know what's wrong with this topic sentence? This one has two ideas. Remember, you only want to have one idea. So the topic is rice, but they're saying rice is the best food in the world and rice is plentiful. So you need to focus on only one. The second sentence, in my free time, I like playing sports and watching movies. What's wrong with this topic sentence? Again, two ideas. If we're talking about our free time or leisure time, and this person wants to say they like playing sports, that's one thing, and then likes watching movies, that's another thing. So they need to focus on only one. Also, this one, what are you going to prove about it? If you say that you like playing sports, so what? You don't want the reader to say, okay, whatever, so what? You want them to be interested in what you're going to write about and for you to have a purpose. So I'm going to show you in a minute how you can make this stronger. The last one would be, most high-level positions in companies are filled by men. This one would be an example of a fact. If you have a fact or something that people know, then what are you going to say about it? So someone might read this and say, duh, I know this. Okay, so then what are you going to try and prove about it? Let me show you how we can make these better. So if we look at the first one, you can change it to something like, rice is the best food in the world because it is beneficial in many ways. And then you're going to tell us in what ways is rice beneficial. The second one can be changed to something like, in my free time, I like playing sports, which helps my mind and body. So this person is going to focus on how playing sports helps them mentally and then how it helps them also physically. The last one, we can change it to something like, most high-level positions in companies are filled by men, but this is unfair due to several reasons. And then you're going to prove why is this unfair if you were writing this one. There are two types of topic sentences. You can have a general topic sentence or you can have a specific one. So for general, let me show you the example. Due to several reasons, eating at restaurants on a regular basis should be avoided. Do you know what are the reasons that the writer will discuss? Do you know the specific reasons? No. The writer said several reasons. So you just know the writer is going to talk about different reasons, but you don't know what are the exact reasons. This would be an example of a general topic sentence. Let me show you a specific one. So for a specific one, it would look like this. Eating at restaurants on a regular basis should be avoided because it can cost a lot of money, be bad for your health, and cause you to overeat. So based on this topic sentence, do you know what are the reasons that the writer is going to focus on? Yes. Okay, do you know what are the three reasons? What's the first reason? So you shouldn't eat out regularly because it can cost a lot of money. What's the second reason? Good, it can be bad for your health. And the third reason can cause you to overeat. So if you see this one, we know specifically what the writer is going to talk about. But you can write a general or a specific topic sentence. Both are fine. If you write this one, you need to remember that you need to have your reasons appear in the same order in your paragraph. So if you start with, it can cost a lot of money, then that needs to be the first reason you focus on in your writing. And then the last reason would be cause you to overeat. Normally, we will have our strongest reason last. So if you think that it can be bad for your health is the strongest reason, use that at the end. Switch the order and have the last reason then be it's bad for your health. Like I said, we normally put it in the order of what you think is your strongest reason. Put your strongest reason at the end, right before the conclusion, or right before your ending and the concluding sentence. Now that you understand topic sentences, let's focus on supporting sentences. So we use supporting sentences to prove or support your topic sentence. So you can do the following. You can give examples, details, reasons, descriptions, facts, or explanations. You don't need to include all of them though. So don't think, oh, I need to include a fact in every paragraph. I need to include all of these explanations. You want to do several of them. If you don't give examples or details or explanation, then your paragraph won't be very strong and it also probably won't be clear to the reader. Lastly, we have the concluding sentence. So a concluding sentence concludes or ends the paragraph. It's the last sentence of your paragraph. There are several techniques you can use for your concluding sentence. You can rephrase the topic sentence, summarize the whole paragraph, give a suggestion, make a prediction, or give a strong opinion. I'm going to show you a couple examples of this. So the first one I'm going to show you is if you want to rephrase the topic sentence. Rephrase means you keep the same ideas, but you're just changing the words. You're rephrasing it. You don't want to repeat it. Repeat it would be saying the same thing again. You don't want to just copy your topic sentence and then paste it as your concluding sentence. No, rephrase it. Let me show you. If the topic sentence is California, which is known as the Golden State, boasts many exciting activities for tourists, we can take that same idea and then rephrase it to sum up, if tourists visit California, they will surely be entertained by all the exciting activities. Another technique you can use is summarizing the whole paragraph. If you do this, you want to state all the reasons or points you discussed. For example, overall, Tokyo is the best city to reside in because of the food, sophisticated railways, technological products, and safety. So the writer for this paragraph would have had in their paragraph the first reason, food, and then second, sophisticated railways, then third, talk about technological products, and then lastly, safety. So this is summarizing all the main points or the main reasons. So you may have noticed that I use certain transition words or phrases like to sum up, overall. Here is a list of common transition words and phrases we use for concluding sentences. For your last sentence, the concluding sentence. You're going to notice that we put a comma after the phrase or the word. So here will be some examples that you can use for your concluding sentence. As a result, because of this, certainly, clearly, for these reasons, hence, in conclusion. Just so you know, in conclusion is the most basic one. If you're a new writer, then that's fine to use. But in the future, or if you're a more advanced writer, you should use one of the other transition words or phrases. Indeed, in a nutshell, in sum, in the end, overall, surely, therefore, thus, to conclude, to sum up, to summarize. So these ones are for concluding sentences. This list now will be for regular transition words and phrases you can use throughout your paragraph. So like however, therefore, in addition, in other words. So again, remember the comma after them. You can use these throughout your paragraph. I have a list of these and more transition words on my website. I will show you later how you can access it, and then you could download that document. Or you can also search online for transition words, and then you can find lists as well. Okay, back to the paragraph hamburger. Now you should understand it clearly. The top bun's your topic sentence, then the meat, lettuce, tomato, etc. are your supporting sentences that are going to prove and talk about your topic and the main idea. And then the bottom bun is your concluding sentence to end the paragraph. you want to include at least 3 reasons or points in your supporting sentences. So I would say 3 or 4 is a good amount. If you do 2, it's not as strong because then you wouldn't have proved your point as well as you could have. So try to shoot for 3 or 4. Okay, let me show you an example paragraph now that you understand the components of a paragraph. So if you see here, you should move to Tokyo, and that is going to be the title. So when you write a paragraph, you want to have a title. And then the first line, if you see here, you're going to indent. Indent is where you leave a space at the very beginning. If you're handwriting your paragraph, then leave a space. If you're typing it, hit the tab button, T-A-B, on your keyboard, and that will automatically indent for you. You also want to skip lines. If you're handwriting, then skip lines as you write. If you're typing it, then you want to double space your paragraph or put 2.0 for your spacing, for double spaced. Okay, let's look at this paragraph. You should move to Tokyo. There are many great cities in the world, but I think Tokyo is the best one to live in. There is a lot of delicious food such as sushi, ramen, and tempura. Second, Tokyo has the world's most sophisticated railways. Third, Tokyo has excellent technological products. Lastly, Tokyo is safe. Overall, you should move to Tokyo if you want to reside in the best city in the world. So this is a very basic paragraph. If you're a beginning writer and you wrote this, good for you, because there are some strengths in here, although there are some weaknesses too. Okay, so let's examine the strengths and what the writer did well. So this writer has a clear topic sentence. We know what the writer is going to focus on. He or she is going to prove that Tokyo is the best city to live in. And then if you see the concluding sentence rephrases the topic sentence, and that's good. And then also this writer used transition words. Do you see some transition words? So if you see second, third, lastly, and then what's the last transition word that he or she used? Overall. So there's something a little bit weak about this paragraph. The writer did include 4 reasons. If you see, the first is food. Food is one of the reasons why Tokyo is the best place to live. Second, sophisticated railways. Third, technological products. And fourth, that it's safe. It's good that this writer included 4 reasons. However, if you see, the writer just listed them. So there's one reason, then the next reason, then the third reason, then the last reason. You don't want to just list your reasons. You need to explain them. Give examples, explanation, or details. Let me show you how we can make it stronger. So if you see the bold sentences or the bold areas, that would be the darker black. This would be where we added to it and we made it stronger and clearer. So if you see, instead of just listing off the first reason, we can say the first reason is because, and then it's very clear. Okay, let me read this to you so you can see how it's clearer now and stronger. There are many great cities in the world, but I think Tokyo is the best one to live in. The first reason is because there is a lot of delicious food such as sushi, ramen, and tempura. If you are in a hurry, you can even get healthy fast food. It is easy to find various food choices throughout the city. Second, Tokyo has the world's most sophisticated railways. So if you say this, then you need to prove it. So you're going to see now we have a detail to help prove it. They have 13 subway lines and more than 100 surface routes, so you can easily get to your destination. Third, since Japan is a technology and innovation leader, Tokyo has excellent technological products. By living in Tokyo, you will be the first to know about the latest gadgets, such as high-tech phones, gaming systems, and robots, and can purchase them right when they're released. Also, you can buy them for less than if you were living abroad. Lastly, Tokyo is safe. Okay, if you say Tokyo is safe, then prove it. This is going to be a personal example here. When I lived there in 2005, I could walk around late at night and still feel safe. Overall, you should move to Tokyo if you want to reside in the best city in the world. This is going to be an opinion paragraph. This is the writer's opinion. You may or may not agree with her. So for this paragraph, if you notice there's one personal example at the end, it's okay to have a personal example, but don't have your whole paragraph be about you. unless it's a narrative paragraph. If it's a narrative paragraph about your best vacation or your weekly routine, then that's okay. You're going to use a lot of I, and then my. But if it's not all about you, then you want it to be objective. To be objective, then you don't want to keep talking about yourself. But it's okay to include, at least if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to include a personal example, then one would be fine. Now that you know how to write, let's talk about the writing process. There are 3 steps in the writing process. The first one's pre-writing. Pre means before. So pre-writing is what you do before writing. So you want to brainstorm, plan, and organize your ideas. Brainstorm, you can think of like a storm in your brain. It's all of these ideas. You're trying to choose what to write about. Second step is to write. So use your chosen ideas to write a paragraph. Then after that, you want to revise and edit. The first time you write a paragraph, we call it the first draft, it's not perfect. Even a native English speaker such as myself, when I write, it's not perfect the first time. There are mistakes. Maybe I'm tired, so I wasn't thinking as clearly, or I rushed and I accidentally wrote something twice, or I forgot to include something. So you want to find your mistakes and weaknesses and then fix them and rewrite your paragraph. Let's talk about brainstorming. So please don't skip the pre-writing stage. It's very important. When you pre-write, you're helping to think of your ideas and you're making it so when you go to write, it's clearer and it's quicker. So brainstorming is a fast way to generate ideas on the topic. You can brainstorm using different techniques. Some of them are bullet list, mind map, also known as a cluster diagram, chart, free write, or discussion. You may not realize you can have a discussion with other people to think of ideas. Let's say your teacher assigns you the topic gun control, and you say, I don't know what to write about this. Well, by being with others and talking about it, you might hear someone say, oh, that's a good idea, or I never thought of that before. Or you might say something and then realize, oh, I could use that in my paragraph to write about. So a discussion is a good way to hear what other people have to say and think of ideas. But just so you know, in writing classes, we don't always have discussions. Sometimes you have to work individually to think of your ideas. Let me show you a bullet list. This is one of the most common and simplest ways for you to get your ideas out. So if the topic is wearing school uniforms in high school, you can create a bullet list. You need to first think, how do I feel about it? Do I agree? Do I disagree? And why? So let's say you think it's good. You agree with wearing school uniforms in high school, then you're going to make a list. If you see the circles, those are what we call bullets. So you don't need to write complete sentences. You're just getting your ideas out. So you want to write all the reasons why you think it's good, or if you disagree, all the reasons why you think it's bad to wear school uniforms. Then you're going to choose the 3 or 4 that you think are the strongest. You have 6 points here. You don't need to include all of them. When we brainstorm, we're trying to find our best ideas, or what is easiest for us to write about, or are the strongest. So don't think everything you come up with you need to include. We're just trying to write down as many ideas as we can, and then you want to select the best ones. This is another technique you can use. It's called a mind map or a cluster diagram. And then this would be where in the middle be weekday routine. Then everything is going to be related to that. You draw lines to the things that are related to it. So for example, weekday routine, during your weekday routine, you cook dinner. So you draw a line to that. And then anything related to cooking dinner, you'll connect. So if you see cook dinner, make something simple, they're connected. These word bubbles are good for visual people. So you might say, okay, my weekday routine, I cook dinner, exercise, wake up early, go to school, and call friends and family. So for these, you would have the bubble and then things connected to it. So maybe for your weekday routine, you wake up early, and then connected to it is, oh, I hate it. Often hit snooze on my alarm clock. So these would be related to it. So these are like word bubbles, and we call this a mind map. Do whichever one is easiest for you that you like using. So after you brainstorm, write your paragraph, and then you're going to do the last stage, which is revising and editing. Correct your errors in grammar, spelling, punctuation, wording, and format. Punctuation would be period, comma, exclamation point, question mark, and quotation marks. Add new ideas or make things clearer for your reader. If you saw the basic paragraph, we made it stronger by adding details and explanation. So you might need to add some things or delete some things too. So eliminate irrelevant sentences would be something you would delete. If your topic is weekday routine and then you start talking about your weekend, then that's not related. It's off topic, so you want to delete it. The last thing you can do is rearrange sentences if they're not in a logical order. If you don't know what to revise, I'm going to give you a checklist. You can look at the content. You can look at your paragraph and say, do I have a topic sentence that contains the main idea of my paragraph? And does my whole paragraph only focus on that? If you say yes, great. If you say no, then you need to change your topic sentence. Next question. Do I have enough supporting sentences that include reasons, details, examples, and or explanations? If yes, great. If no, then you need to fix that. Do I have a concluding sentence that rephrases the topic sentence, summarizes the whole paragraph, gives advice, makes a prediction, or gives an opinion? If yes, great. If no, then you need to fix it. Here's a document you can use. So this is available on my website, and this paragraph checklist you can print out or you can look at and go through your paragraph. Because you might not know what to look for, this will help walk you through your paragraph, find your mistakes, and then correct them. Let me tell you about some strategies you can use to identify your errors. One great thing to do is read your writing aloud. By reading your paragraph aloud, it helps you to hear what it sounds like, and you might say, oh, that sounds funny, or that's not clear. I don't even know what I'm reading. I don't know what I'm talking about. If it's not clear for you, it's definitely not clear for your reader. Also, reading your paragraph aloud is good because it helps you find some of your mistakes. Many of my students read their paragraphs aloud, and then they automatically correct. They may have written it wrong, but when they say it, they're saying it correctly. And then they realize, oh, I forgot to put an S there, and then they fix it. Another strategy you can use is reading your writing backward, from bottom to top. So this would mean reading your concluding sentence first, and then the second to last sentence, and then the one before that, and so on. By reading the last sentence first, it helps isolate the sentence. This makes it easier for you to find your grammar mistakes, your grammatical errors. So by reading this last sentence, you can see, oh, did I make any mistakes in grammar? If you read it from the top down, so if you read from the beginning of your paragraph to the end, it's harder to find some of your mistakes. You will mostly be checking for like coherency, if it's coherent and clear, and if it's organized, if it's on topic. So reading from the bottom up will help you find your grammatical mistakes more. The next thing you can do is pretend that you're someone else. Many times writers, they write and they think the reader knows what they're talking about. But you need to remember, not everyone possesses the same knowledge. So you might know a fact or you might know about a certain situation, but your reader might have no idea about it. So you need to make sure it's clear for them and you give them enough information to understand what you are talking about. The last thing is take a break from your writing. So you might hear your teacher say, okay, leave it there to cook or leave it there to bake. So that means you just leave your writing alone for a day or two, and then you come back to it and read it with a fresh mind. And you might say, wow, like this is horrible. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Or you might come back to it and say, okay, it's good, it's clear, it sounds fine, I'm ready to submit it. But if you come back to it and it's not clear, then you need to fix it. So it's good to leave it alone for a little while. I know some of you procrastinate and you wait until the end to do your writing. It might be due on Friday and you do it Thursday night or Friday morning. If you do that, then you're not going to be able to take a break from it and then read it over again and then see how it is. So try to not procrastinate. Try to do it a few days in advance. That way you can leave it there and come back to it and then read it. Okay, now that you know all about writing, it's your turn to write a paragraph. If you're one of my students and you want to practice paragraph writing, then please do. So the first thing would be pick a topic. After you've picked a topic, then brainstorm. Remember, don't skip this step. It's really important to help you get your ideas out so that way it'll be quicker when you write and that way also it'll be organized and clear. So select 3 or 4 reasons or points that you're going to focus on in your paragraph. Then write your paragraph. So you can handwrite it or type it. If your teacher prefers you to type it, he or she will tell you. Many teachers nowadays will have students type their paragraphs or essays and submit them electronically. If you're in my class, you can do whichever you prefer. If you prefer to handwrite, that's fine. Remember to include transition words or phrases. Again, I'll give you my website in a minute so you can download the document. And then proofread your paragraph. Remember, don't just finish your paragraph and say, here, I'm done. So many of my students do that. And do you think your paragraph's perfect after writing it? No. So you need to read it. Check for your spelling mistakes, check your grammar, and see, is it coherent? Does it make sense? And after you proofread it, right, you're fixing those mistakes. Okay, so here's my website, www.jessicainthvong.com. You can go there to download the transition word document I kept talking about, as well as look at some example paragraphs. In addition, there are some other videos you can check out and other resources you can use to improve your English. Well, I hope it's very clear now how to write a paragraph. If you want to write a topic sentence for me or something related to a paragraph and put it in the comment section, you can. Or if you have a question, you can also put it in the comment section. If you're one of my students and you want to practice writing a paragraph, go ahead. I would love to see your paragraph and give you some feedback on it. So you can either submit it in class or you can email it to me or you can upload it on Canvas and I can look at it. Okay, hopefully now you're excited to write a paragraph and it's very clear for you. I wish you the best of luck. Take care. See you next time. Bye.